Well, this particular course we are focusing on statistics and probability. The main objective of this course is to provide basic fundamental knowledge on how we are going to solve every big business problems using data science. So somehow I will put it something, this particular course is our journey towards data science. So nowadays data science means we have to have the skills of both statistics, probability, mathematics, programming, as well as business expertise. So we are not actually focusing on business or any computer programming kind of lectures here, but mainly focusing on what are the fundamental level of these statistics and probability that we have to consider while solving any business case problem. So first I want to say that what is this course for mainly? This course is for mainly simple words, a very simple sentence. I would put it like converting data into useful information. We all know that right now nowadays data is abundant. It is exploding like anything. What I mean by exploding here is that we are getting data from internet, we are getting data from whatever we do in the business operations, in financial industries, in travel, in telecom, in all these areas we are having lots of data. So why are we collecting all this data and what are we going to do? Because this data is containing a lot of information about the customers, about the activities, and about all the information whatever we wanted to have. So now, before we jump on to solving any business problem, let us say if you start with any business problem, we have to first consider what kind of data have we collected so far, and what is the information that is there embedded inside that data. In order to extract that information, what are the techniques, tools, those are available from the statistical point of view, and how do we really communicate to our business managers so that they can take very good decision in terms of further growth or whatever, or customer treatment or customer service, whatever it may be. So keeping all those business problems aside, just I want to tell you that we have to collect the data of any business problem that we are going to solve. Once after collecting this data, we have to understand that data. What I mean by understanding here is that we have to know that what is this particular data contains of. Is it customers chatting history? Is it customers service history? Is it customers bill pay history? Is it related to customers behavior on any internet or any e-commerce website? So what is the data exactly it is containing? So we have to understand that data. So in order to understand the data, we cannot just jump into the data and just randomly we cannot walk into through different tables or anything like that. What we have to mainly understand the data is that since the data is abundant, very big, very huge, and highly different varieties of data, we have to use some kind of techniques so that can make our lives easy in order to understand that data. And also after understanding the data, we have to have the insights how this data can help us in taking any business decisions. So that information, finding out that information is the tricky part in any data problem. Yes, you can say that yes, if there is a lot of data. Out of the data, if you are telling that a very factual things like sun rises in the east and sets in the west, such kind of examples, such kind of factual information is not going to add any value to any business. So what I mean to say here is that the information that you are going to get out of the data, that must be related to something like that a human or a business manager could not think of such kind of information, but may be useful for your business problem. Such kind of information, such kind of pattern, how do we find it out? So there are ways, and people call it some kind of machine learning algorithms, and statisticians say that we have some kind of different models to find out these patterns. But in order to find out all these patterns, what are the techniques and what is the approach we have to follow, we have to adapt ourselves in order to find out this information or the patterns is also one of the main things that we are going to cover in this particular course. And once after finding out this information, you have to interpret in such a way that the business manager can easily understand what exactly the information that we are having in this particular data. So you might say that, okay, all the customers who are in the age range of 18 to 25 are using my application, are more interested to buy this particular product. So such kind of information that is very easy to put it in English, but the patterns that you get out of all these models completely in a very difficult mathematical forms. So how do you really interpret those mathematical forms to a business meaning is what I mean here, interpreting. So once after interpreting the data, and also as I mentioned earlier, this data is very huge, so it's difficult to convince your manager or any business person to take any business decision. Business decision might consist of some millions of dollars or some a very big policy change that you may have to suggest to your business manager. So in order to convince him, whatever you understood from the data by using your models, your theories, and you're using various techniques, algorithms, all these things you have to put it in a nice nice form. What I mean by nice form means it is a very easy to communicate to the business manager. So there are multiple visualization techniques are available. So from the statistical point of view, to convince any business manager, what are those visualization tools that we are going to use, and how do we visualize that data is also one of the focuses of this course. Just I want to go back one more point here. That is something like towards this data science. Everybody knows that everybody wants to become a data scientist nowadays because it is one of the sexiest jobs in this century, and also having a lot of demand in the market, and there is a lack of data scientists in the market. So most of the people, they are trying to transform to or switch their careers to these data scientist positions. Yes, in order to become a data scientist, and everybody knows this left-hand picture, whatever you are looking at, particular person, if he wants to become a data scientist, he must be having some skills like coming from computer science, having some business expertise, and then having some statistics. And I mean with statistics here is the maths and statistics knowledge. And which is not a big deal nowadays. All of the software engineers, IT people are having these skills, computer science skills. They have very good programming knowledge and a little bit of business experience they are having. But the only component that is missing in most of the current engineers or IT people is statistics and mathematics knowledge. So this is the main module that we are going to cover in this particular course. So generally, I just want to give you a small life cycle of any data science project that we generally do in the industry. What we do generally is that for any data science project, earlier it was something like if you wanted to build an application, you know that I have to write some programs and I test those programs, I do debugging, and I will call, and after all these things you test it whether it is working in the production environment and all these things. But there you really did not worry about what kind of data it is, what are the patterns in the data it is, so what kind of problem that we are solving. So that is completely a different level of problem. Here in this particular thing, steps in any data science project I'm going to talk about is that the first and foremost point is that identify the problem. What is the problem that we are solving? Is it something like increasing the sales of an e-commerce site, or decreasing the expenses of any particular industry which is actually running a lot of expenses every month? So what is the problem that we are going to solve? So once after identifying this problem, we have to identify what are the various data sources that we are having. Data sources, what I mean by here is that, for example, it is a customer relationship management problem, then you have to know all the details of the customer, whether he is coming from northern part of India or southern part of India, what is his age, what is his salary, where exactly he is staying, all these demographics data that you have to have. If you are solving some insurance related problem, then you have to know, okay, what is his age, what is his health history, and how he has been performing in the last 5 years. Has he been visiting the doctors or is visiting the hospitals? So you have to have the different types of data for solving a particular problem. So first of all, you have to identify those data sources. And also it is not a big deal nowadays how to store this data, but storing the data is not a problem because we are having multiple infrastructures to store the data. But in this particular course, having such kind of data, how do you use these statistical techniques or any probability theories to get the information that you want? How do we do that? So that is what we are actually, I'm talking about the perform statistical analysis on that particular data. So this statistical analysis helps you to know that, okay, most of the people who have been purchasing this particular smartphone in this particular e-commerce site are coming from the age between 18 to 25. So you get some kind of insights out of the data. So you will come up with some kind of inferences out of the data. In order to find out all these kinds of insights and all these things, these statistical tools would help you. What are those statistical tools? I will cover it in detail. And once you know these particular statistical information of the data, you know that, okay, these are the people coming to my particular shop between Wednesday and Friday and Monday, and families with 2 children are coming to my shop. Some kind of insights you found it out. So then what? Then what is next? We have to find out, after having this information, now it comes to something like a prediction. This is one of the main component of any data science project. It is not only just understanding the data, getting the insights out of the data by using statistical tools, and also you should be able to predict what is that it is going to happen next. I'm having this data, okay, a customer data, having the complete his salary and his expenses and his complete credit card history. I'm having the complete data. And having the data, I'm having a very good set of statisticians and probability experts who found some insights like, okay, the people who are using this critical credit card in this particular range are not able to pay this money, are actually using this particular mobile phone. After identifying all these sets of information, now the next level is that, what is this guy going to do in the next phase? That we have to predict. In order to predict accurately whether a particular person, let us say Srinivas or Ramesh, who has been using this one, what is the probability that he would again come to my store on Wednesday? If I know that information a priori, then I can make my arrangements and I can recommend the products whatever that particular Ramesh or Srinivas are interested in. Which is working. If you see on the left hand side, whenever you are browsing, you will get the history of products that you may be interested in. So this is a big business right now which is going on in e-commerce. They wanted to predict the customer behavior. How do I predict that customer behavior? In order to predict that particular customer behavior, I have to understand his behavior first. What happened to him? What exactly his behavior? And then I can predict his behavior. So in order to understand that data, we can use statistical analysis tools. In order to predict that one, we can use machine learning models or some statistical models to predict how this particular customer is going to behave. And then, how do I communicate all these results, whatever I found since I started going into the data, walking through the data, using different techniques and tools, whatever insights I found, I cannot just enumerate on a single white paper or a single Word document. If there are a million customers, I cannot write down the particular each and every person's behavior, because every person can have multiple behaviors. We are going to at the personalization level. At that point of time, in order to communicate those results to any business person or to any vendor, any client that you wanted to convince, you have to communicate those results in a more concise form. Okay, where you will get the you can exploit this visualization tool, those are available. So until now what I have covered is that I just wanted to give you a very basic process that is involved in any data science project, where how we are going to solve any business problem. I'm not emphasizing anything like you should have these programming skills, you should have these theories before, and you should have the background in mathematics. No. For this course, we do not need any such kind of background, because this course itself is, this course itself is at a very fundamental level, where we are going to walk you through the data by using different techniques, where we will introduce you to solve some important problems, and how to analyze those things is the main focus of this course. So mainly the main challenge you generally get is that your organization has collected some terabytes of data or millions of customers' data, and you really wanted to test some hypothesis. Hypothesis, what I mean by here is that you are having some kind of speculation. I would not compare hypothesis with speculation, but you are having some idea, you are having some insight. Okay, if I offer 20% discount to the segment of the people coming from metro cities, then the number of sales in the next month or next quarter would increase by 25%. So this is something like based on your expertise in business, you got, or your business manager has some kind of insight about this particular data or this particular business. So he comes to you and he asks you, okay, can you go and test this particular hypothesis, whether whatever I'm thinking is going to be validated or not. So yes, you are very interested to solve the problem. That is the problem that you got, is that you wanted to test a hypothesis that if you focus on some certain segment of the population coming from metro cities, by giving 20% discount, you would get the profits enhancement, or whatever the next quarter it will be 25%. So you cannot do this hypothesis or this particular testing on the complete 1 million customers that you are having in your database, because your business, your manager is expecting it in next 3 days, that particular result, or next 15 days, what may be. Within that particular time period, you have to solve that problem. So if you start analyzing each and every customer in your database, there are millions of customers, though you are having very good tools, it would involve a lot of cost involved in terms of time, in terms of running your analysis, in terms of understanding the different segments of the customers, and all these things. It involves a lot of problem. Okay, sometimes this particular analysis maybe you are doing in your computer by using a program which may not be costly for you, but some kind of testings that you wanted to do may be involving a lot of cost and a lot of human hours. Okay, for example, if you want to know that in your particular constituency which MLA is going to, which member of parliament is going to win. So for such kind of analysis, you may use the electronic form, or you may go and ask each and every person and get their opinions, and then you will come back with some kind of inferences, and then you say that this is the probability, this particular member of parliament, okay, contesting from this location, having this much probability to win the elections coming in next year. So at that particular point, if you are taking the same example, you cannot go and knock at each and every door of that particular constituency. It would involve a lot of cost and everything. So similarly, in any test that you are going to conduct, you have to sample some set of people. Okay, that is what you are having a big population. Out of that, you have to take a sample. This is the main and basic fundamental process that generally in statistics that we do. Take this some sample, and on this sample, how do you going to take this sample? You may say that, hey, I can say take this sample, I can take this sample, I can take this sample. Why did you take this sample? So there are some sampling theories we are going to talk in this course to mention that how this particular sample on which you are going to perform some statistical studies would give you very better information. You might miss some set of segments also. So what is that the best sampling methodology that you have to adopt in order to come up with those better answers that we are going to cover. Anyways, so in any statistical study, whatever we are going to cover, this process is very mandatory, and we are going to follow this particular process in any statistical studies. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, everything here, it's a small business case that easily understandable. Okay, where exactly you are going to play the role, okay, in order to become a data scientist. So some of the people are having very good experience of background in business tools, and very good experience in programming, and very good experience as system administrators. So for all those people, this example gives you what exactly you have to do, what are the things that you are going to do, and how this course is going to help you if you know where exactly you are positioned in this one. In this particular complete analysis, you are positioned here. Okay, you are positioned here. What exactly you are going to do? For example, you are having. I'm just taking an example here. It's some e-commerce website. This website is collecting loads of data. Okay, and you cannot go and completely do the analysis on all the customers who are visiting this particular Amazon site, having millions of products and different types of product categories. So you may get a chance to take some set of data on which your manager is asking, I wanted to launch a particular discount coupon offer to the people, and can you come back and tell how, if I launch that one, is this a good decision for me to get profits, or is this a very bad decision? If it is a good decision, how much we are going to get the profits? So this is what your business manager wanted to know. So then, as a data scientist or as a statistical analyst, what you are going to do is that you are going to take the data, and you are, by using some statistical libraries, okay, we are going to completely cover that. What are the different statistical libraries that you are going to use in this course, that you are going to learn in this course, and use them in order to come up with the very validated reports that would be easy for your decision making. This is just a small example that I am providing here. Alright, so now I'm finally going to that. In this particular course, what are the contents that we are going to cover? So this particular course is having total 6 modules. Okay, so first one is that a descriptive statistics. Okay, in this descriptive statistics, we are going to talk about, once you get the data, what is the first and foremost step that you have to do, how to do. After doing that, how do you convey those things? How do you understand those things? Okay, these are all some very basic statistics I'm going to talk here. Okay, and also I will introduce some tools over here to understand these methodologies. Okay, and mostly what I suggest here is that I will give you some daily assignments as well as one working assignment. This working assignment is something like, I'll provide you the data, and I want you to apply all these techniques. Okay, and then you will get the complete understanding. This particular course is not something like just to read and implement. This course needs lot of test and learn. Take the data, apply this technique, and learn what is it doing. Test that again, learn it. What is it doing? So that is main focus of this one. I'm going to give working assignments for each one of them, and then whatever I mentioned, once you get the data, you perform all these things to understand what are the different kinds of distributions are there, how this particular data is there, how many people are coming from this particular age, how many people are coming with different salaries of different profiles, different geography regions, everything you can cover it here. But once you have all these things, for you, not for your manager, you will have to have some understanding of what is happening if I use all these things. So for that, there are different graphs, charts, plots we are going to cover here. In this one, whatever operation you are doing here, you will have to analyze them. In order to analyze them, we are going to provide some kind of tools here. Okay, let us say I will tell you as an example, you are conducting a survey, and or you wanted to know that which particular segment of the people should I focus so that my profits would be more. So you found it out from your data. You found out that there is a segment of the people, okay, coming from the age like 50 to 60 years old. They are coming out to be only 200, whereas 18 to 25 is coming out to be something like 10 lakhs. Okay, so it's very difficult for you to focus on that very small number 200. What this particular segment? There are some people who are coming for 50 to 60 or 200. That looks very small for you. So in order to know that one, when you compare to this 10 lakhs people, you don't know whether the 200 exists or not. how to see that one. So there are some kind of box plots and all these things that will give you the distribution of the different categories, and you can dive into that particular category. Again, you can analyze that where exactly these 250 to 60 years old people are also coming. So something like these plots would help you to see, to understand the data much better. Okay, so this particular step is getting the data, and this particular step is that how to visualize it for yourself to understand the data. Let us say you got this understanding of the data by using these steps. Then what? After understanding the data, okay, you will have to get out some inferences out of this data. What I mean by inferences here is that how this particular, what is the reason for these 18 to 25 age people are coming to this particular website? What is the reason behind it? You wanted to know that one. Okay, then such kind of questions are automatically trigger in your mind. In order to validate those things, what you will do is that you use some kind of probability theory to infer some kind of information, okay, getting out of all this data. So in probability, I'm going to cover, I will just give you a very basic probability. I would not go at the level of 10th class or intermediate or engineering probability, but I will cover more from the business point of view by giving some examples. There you will understand what is this probability, okay, how should I use these probability theories to understand what are these events, how this event is actually occurring. Let us say, what is the probability of customer having a salary of 20,000 rupees per month would like to would come to my shop. All these things we can actually understand more clearly by using this probability, where I'm going to cover different distributions there and how these distributions are going to help you to get some kind of intervals, so that you go to your manager and you say that, okay, boss, you can implement this offer 20% discount in next 1 year, or sorry, next quarter. Then your boss would have confidence on you and he would go and implement, but due to some reasons, instead of getting profits, he got some loss. Okay, next time, let us say next quarter it happened, and next to next quarter, if you are going back to him again to implement that, he may not have that confidence. So how do you give the confidence to your manager to take the particular decision? So which is not something like working hard or anything, but using some tools like confidence intervals, by using some distributions, using some statistical probability theories, you can easily convince your boss that if you implement this one, my confidence is that 95% these people next quarter your profits would raise by 20%. So these confidence intervals would help you to give the confidence to that particular decision, okay, and how we are going to do, what are the steps that we are going to cover in this probability distributions thing, okay. And last slide of this particular thing, introduction chapter. So here, whatever I covered until now is a very basic understanding of the data. Until that level, you are more of something like having a lot of statistical theory understanding and how to use these probability theories to apply to the different types of data and what are the information that we can get. By the time you reach to this level, you will have that understanding with all the reading assignments and working assignments. But this is the place where whatever I mentioned, that how do you solve really complex problems, okay, by using these advanced statistics methods, okay, and that is what I'm going to cover here. Once after that, we are going to use those statistical theories, that is what I'm calling here is applied statistics, for solving different problems to predict. And if you are predicting, okay, what is that particular prediction that you are giving is correct, and what are the reasons that your prediction is going to be wrong, and why that is going to be wrong, what are the variables those are actually making your decision to deviate from your expectations, and all these analysis that we can do that. So in order to do that one, the first and foremost process that any business problems approach is that you build some hypothesis, okay. Once you build that hypothesis, given the data, you test that hypothesis, how much that particular hypothesis is validated. Okay, so that is what I'm going to cover here. Generally, we build a very big hypothesis tree in order to solve a very simple problem. Though it is a simple problem, we have to build the complete hypothesis tree. What if this happens? What if this happens? All these things you have to test them by using the data. These are all for data-driven approaches. You may be having a lot of expertise there, but you have to use the actual data here. Given the data, how much you can say that your hypothesis is validated. If that hypothesis is validated, then how do you build different types of generalized models? And all these models is the first stepping stone for machine learning model building. So machine learning is somehow going to be covered in this section, but actual machine learning itself is a separate, a very big course. So in order to jump into such kind of advanced machine learning methods, having understanding of these techniques and these methods would always be helpful for any project. So I just wanted to conclude here. The complete information what I'm going to cover here is that it is mainly our objective is to just converting data into useful information, and in order to get into data science, in order to work on any data science projects, statistics and mathematical knowledge is going to play a lot of big role here. And in order to do any kind of statistical analysis, this is a simple case I'm showing here how you are going to do that analysis. And this is a simple example to show that where exactly you are going to play the role in the complete data science project, whatever you are going to do. And these are all something, the modules that we are going to cover with the different reading and working assignments, and covering mainly the statistics part to understand the data, to get the inferences, probability theories, and solving some little more complex problems to use advanced statistics. And whatever you learn until 5 modules, how do you make use of them for any business case to solve that problem. So with that, we will finally give you a course project that would focus from all the from 1 to 6, and that would give you a very good learning experience. Thank you.